discuss exception handling in Python. So what is an exception? Getting an error. So when you get an error or an exception in your program, it means that the entire program will crash. So you do not want this to happen in real world programs. In real world, what we want the program to do, we want the program to detect the error and handle them in a proper way and then continue to run. So let's see a very commonly used case study. What happens to the program when you have a divide by zero error? So when there are chances of getting a divide by zero error, you should write your programs, you should do exception handling such that it gives a error stating that there was a divide by zero rather than crashing and stopping the entire execution. So let's see how we can handle this through an example. Div by zero error. See, in this program we have written a function spam where we are going to return 42 by divide by. So when the program is called, first it will come to this statement print spam2, and it comes to this part of the program where 2 is passed as an argument to this function, and it will revert 42 by 2. So what is 42 by 2? 21. So 21 would be printed. In the next statement, spam12, print spam12 is executed. It goes to the program and passes 12 as an argument and returns 42 by 12. So 42 divided by 12, the value will be printed in the second print statement. Next, in the third print statement, again it calls the function spam with a value, passing an argument to the function as 0, and it will, when it comes here, it tries to do 42 by 0. Since we did not handle anything, the program is going to give us an error like this. So the program is giving us an error saying that zero division error or division by 0. Now how can we handle such cases in our program? To handle such cases, we need to do exception handling, or we call it as error handling, by using two statements called as try and except. So try is a clause which will contain the code that would potentially have an error. So try is basically will potentially have the code that can cause an error, and except clause will contain the code to handle what to be done when this error happens. So in the except, we are telling what to be done in case of such errors. So the previous program now has been modified with just before return 42 divide by in the function, we have added try. So that means what? Within this try block, we are going to potentially have a case which can generate errors, and that would be by this line of code. And in except, so we are writing except and give a name to it. After except, give some, you can give any name, meaningful name. In this case, we are giving zero division error followed by a colon. There should be a colon after try block also. So except, give a meaningful name colon, and write the code in order to handle this error. So in this case, we are just giving out a meaningful statement saying that error in the invalid argument. There was an invalid argument. In this case, this argument was not good, which was given. So let's see when we execute this what happens. See, instead of giving out an error, unlike the previous case, here it is giving us a meaningful value saying that error invalid argument for the third print statement. And then after that, it again, the program execution did not stop and it continued. It continued to the next line where I am giving 1, and then 1 is passed to it, return 42 divided by 1, it is giving the value as 42. So what is the difference between the previous one where we did not do any exceptional handling and this one? In the previous one, when we executed this, the program execution stopped. It did not execute this fourth line. The program execution stopped, and it gave out an error saying that division by 0. But when we handle this same error with a try and an except block, it is not giving us any error. We have handled that error and we have continued with the execution. As you can see, the last statement was executed, and when this spam 0 was passed, the same statement was passed like previous one. It has handled it saying that we are giving as we gave a message saying that error invalid argument that was printed here. So why is exception handling done? So that you can handle such cases of errors that can be possible without in your program and still not stop the execution of the program. So let's see another example. So in this example, what we have done is the same function is used, but instead of using the try and except block within the function, we are trying to use a try and except block within the, we have put that in our main program. So we have enclosed all these 4 statements, where 4 times which we are calling the function, we have enclosed that within the try block. So that means within these 4 lines it is possible to get this divide by 0 error, and we have handled that outside saying when there is an exception like this 0 division error, please print error invalid argument. So in this case you can see that what's the difference between this case and the previous cases. When it came across spam 0 error, it went to this function, it tried to divide 42 by 0 and immediately it came off to the except block. When there is an error, immediately in the try block it immediately comes to the except part, and in the except part error invalid argument got printed, and you can see now we are out of the main program, and therefore the last statement print spam1 was not executed. The reason is because this third statement gave us an error which was caught in the try statement. It immediately goes to the except block and executes this, which is the end, and therefore we are out of the main program. So the difference between this program and the previous program is what's the difference and how we should use a try and except block. In this case we have executed all the 4 functions, and in this case where I try to put try and except statement outside of the main program, the last spam1 function could not be executed. Okay, so try to execute more programs with exception handling. So normally the question asked here is what is exceptional handling? Give out the general statement or general syntax and explain with a suitable example. Thank you.